Welcome back to Respiro Church and the Life Recovery Devotional, Step 2, Day 6, titled Filling the Emptiness. And the Bible reading is from Luke 8:35 to 39. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Some of us enter recovery because of the intervention of those who love us. We are confronted and persuaded to break from our addiction. Perhaps we've received spiritual help and been delivered from demonic influences as well. Intervention can be a very helpful starting place, but we cannot afford to stop there. Let me just stop right here for a second. Interventions, as popularized by popular media, by television, by movies, do not in and of themselves cure an addict or a dependent person, especially a strongly dedicated dependent person. Because I'll tell you what, just like some of us have a dedication to our faith and to going to Sunday morning church, reading our Bible every day, stuff like that, there are those out there that are just as devoted to their addiction. I mean, it's not a good expression of devotion, but dang, do some of these addicted people put us churchgoers to shame in the level of dedication they have to their devotion. I'm just saying. With the demon-possessed man who lived among the tombs, Jesus came into his territory and confronted him. There is no record that the man was seeking help before this intervention. After the encounter, the crowd saw the man sitting at Jesus' feet, fully clothed and perfectly sane. Luke 8:35. Most of us would stop right there, but if we did, we would probably end up in worse shape than before. Jesus explains, when an evil spirit leaves a person, it goes into the desert searching for rest. But when it finds none, it says, I will return to the person I came from. So it returns and finds that its former home is all swept and in order. Then the spirit finds 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they all enter the person and live there. And so that person is worse off than before. If we are to remain free, we must go beyond just accepting deliverance. It's not enough to just let Christ clean us up. We must use our season of sobriety to go back and deal with filling up the empty, broken places in our hearts and lives. Recovery is a beginning of restoration, but to be in recovery, we need to continue what we begin. May the God of all knowledge finish the work that he has started in you, or something along those lines. I can't remember the actual verse. May the God of the universe who started a good work in you see it through to completion, it says in the word. You know, I had to get clean, but then I also had to replace the bad habits I used to have with better habits that wouldn't leave a vacuum. It wasn't enough to just get clean and get sober. Then I had to do the work to get better behavior. Because if I don't appreciate the wording in AA, because sometimes the way they word it or the way they say things sounds like you're never going to be free from your addiction. But they say there's a difference between a sober person and a dry drunk. A sober person has completely changed their behaviors, their outlook, and their environment, whereas a dry drunk just hasn't drank in a while. And while I don't exactly agree with the exact wording of it, the principle is fairly accurate. There are those that have gone on a sobriety binge who've been clean or dry for a period of time, but if they don't get new behaviors started that replace the old ones, then they're going to eventually find themselves back in the same bad spot they were in before, because they did not look for alternative behaviors to fill the gap. It's just the reality of life that we can't expect to just create an empty space and not expect the surrounding environment to fill it back up. You don't go to a beach and dig a hole right next to the surf line and then expect it not to get filled with water when the tide comes in. In the same way, we can't just dig out the parts of ourselves that aren't so good, throw them out, and not expect other stuff to grow in its place when we're not vigilant. Instead, we have to be vigilant in order to be able to allow and work with the Spirit of God in us to continue to make us holy and righteous and keep us on this path of sobriety. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, share, go back and watch the step 1 and the other step 2 videos. I'll see you again soon. God bless. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow.